G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Thanks so much for joining me. I have this cute little mold that I'm going to use. Now this one is, as far as I know, it's like for maybe a flower pot, something like that. You know those concrete sort of terraced flower pots that you can get. There's different sizes. But I thought I might try and make a coaster out of it. Now, the reason I'm having a go at this, I'm just trying to get that out, is it's very exciting. I have got a new coaster mold that I've designed, and it's in production at the moment. So it'll still be a little while, but it's based on this sort of thing where you get your layers. Now, obviously for a coaster, you don't want this depth. You only want, you know, this depth. So it's very different. So, but anyway, I'll talk to you about that more a little bit closer to the time. But for today, I'm just going to use this one because I'm so excited about my new mold that I've designed that I want to have a little play with this. Mine's got all these different terraces. There's two coming, two different styles. So please be patient. Wait for it. It will be coming. Now, if you've been following me, I've just done my big ocean terrace tray, and I had this resin left over. Oh my gosh, there's a hair in that one. So I thought perfect opportunity to use for this terrace coaster. I don't want to waste it. So I'm using the Platinum Ultra Clear resin. I've got some white. Actually, I better show you. I showed you in the previous video. They're both Terraced. This one is white with a tiny little bit of the white sand. And then this one here is 50-50 white with the white sand. This is the Angel White from Terraced. So that's what I've got. And I've got more of the white one left than this one. So let's just pour in. Now, over here on my little stick here, I've cut the bottom off. And the top line there is 15 millimeters. So the bottom line is 12 millimeters. So somewhere in between those, I'm okay with doing this one. My coasters won't be this thick. They'll be 12 mil, which is ½ an inch. But we'll see what happens. I just don't want to make it too thick. I mean, there's no way you can have a coaster that thick. So I'll leave that there. I'll measure it. So here we go. I'm just going to start pouring in my white. Like so. And I'm going to pour the creamy one in sort of, this one's the more cream. I'm just going to pour it in over the top, and, you know, they'll blend. Hopefully they'll blend together. And I'm going to be careful not too much more. I overcalculated with the amount of resin that I needed for my ocean terrace tray. I measured out 3.5 cups of water into the tray to see, you know, how much I'd need. But then when I came, because I changed 3.5 cups to oh, what was it? 750 grams. I calculated 3 cups, like 1 cup's 250 mils, which is supposedly 250 grams. So I did 3 cups, which was 750, and it was actually 3.5 cups of, no, yeah, three cups of water. Oh, gosh, sorry, I'm confusing you now. I used 3 cups of water, but I ended up using, making up like 4 cups of resin for some reason. I don't know why. My little calculations obviously weren't good, changing from mils to grams, but anyway, I thought I'll just have a little bit of extra. So now I had extra, so I'm using it on this. Sorry, I've got verbal diarrhea today. I just can't shut up. I'm a bit excited about my new molds that I've been designing. All right, I think I'll take it up a little bit more. I'll point here. See this little layer here? I'm just going to cover up this little layer here. So just a tiny bit. We'll just drizzle it in because I don't want to go too far. And I'll just spread that with my stick. I just want to take it up to that level there. Okay, that's it. That's as far as I want to go. So because I've done that, I haven't gone all the way. Obviously, when I turn this out, I'm going to have a hole in the middle, aren't I? So I'll show you tomorrow. I'm going to wait for tomorrow now because I'm using the resin, the Ultra Clear, which sets up, well, not as fast as the Platinum 360. I'm not going to stick that in. That's as high as I want it, so it's probably a little bit deeper than what I would want, but that's fine. So yeah, the Platinum Ultra Clear takes longer to set up, but I can mix up much more of it, like a bigger quantity, 2 big cups without it going hot and flash curing. I can pour deeper, so it's a good resin to have. I like having like a couple of different resins, one for deep pours like this, and then one for, you know, shallow coasters, which is going to set up faster. So I use both. So, all right, that's all I'm going to do for today. So yeah, come back tomorrow. Maybe a few seconds for you, but come back tomorrow and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the next step. Okay. So yep, see you then. Hey guys, I'm back. It's the next day. I've been working on my big tray one just over there, and I had a tiny little bit of resin left over. So I'm hoping we can put our first layer in here because I've got a little bit left over. So it's set up. Let's see if we can get it out. Let's loosen it all the way around first. Okay, here we go. Pop. Well, it comes out relatively easy. Actually, I might just push that. There we go. And it's out. That was relatively painless. Where will we put you? Just there. All right, let's have a little look at the other side. Woohoo! There's a bit of a sharp bit there. Oh, I forgot I had to put my tape on first. I can't pour resin, can I? Can't pour resin just yet. I'm just going to snip that little sharp piece off. Well, I better get a wriggle on if I want to use up this resin. It's already starting to get thick. All right, hang on. I've got to go and get some tape. Where's my tape? Where's my tape? Not in there. Not in there. I've moved everything around, you see. Now I don't know where anything is anymore. I'm just going to use some... I'm going to use some packing tape, and hopefully that will work. Just gonna pop it on like this. Actually, I think that'll go. Oh look, that will fit right over there, like so. Now I just need to reinforce those. I don't know whether packing tape's the right thing to do, but look, that's what I've got. So, and we'll go halfway there. As long as it's a strong tape, I guess it would work. Oh, I keep losing my... Don't you hate it when you lose the edge of your tape? And then I'll overlap that there. I'll hang on to it this time. And I'm going to put another one in the middle. Okay. And let's hope for the best, hey? And hopefully that will work. And then I can just peel it off later. And if a little bit runs underneath on the bottom, it won't matter because it's the bottom. And hopefully I should be able to just peel it off afterwards, hey? Okay. So I know that's a sticky end there, but it shouldn't matter. Right, gloves. To get some clean gloves. Now I've just got, as I said, I've got that little bit of resin there. Oh, what's that? Seems like a little bit of white paste. It mustn't have been mixed in properly. I don't think you're going to notice it. It's just a little blob of white pigment paste. I don't think you'll notice it under all that resin. Now, I'd like to get 2 different colours out of this. So, let's go with, put half and half. Let's see if I can just get 2 layers here. Don't need a lot. Probably got way too much here, but that was just a bit of leftover resin that I had from my other little assignment there. Now, what will we do? The last one I used pigment paste, but I think this time, I think I'm just going to go with, actually no I will, because it's quite deep. I'll go with a little bit of the pigment paste again. Just a touch. That is the Terraced. Didn't need very much of it at all. What's it called? Terraced Sapphire Blue Pigment Paste. It's that one. So that's going to be for the base. I only want a little bit on the base there, and then I'm going to put, actually that's way too much for the base, isn't it? And then I'm going to put a lighter one over the top. It's probably not quite opaque enough yet. Let me just wipe the end of my stick and then I can dip again. I do like the nice dark blue that I got on my tray. Hopefully you guys saw that video. I'll try and remember to link it above for you. Link it at the end of this video. Okay, here we go. Let's pour this in. So it's getting really quite thick now. I'm using the Platinum 360 Plus resin. And we'll just push that out. Don't need all of that. What am I going to do with some navy resin? I don't know. Push it out. Okay. That'll do. That's all I want for that one. Where's my torch? We don't have to worry about melting our mold, do we? Because the mold's gone. Oh gosh. Okay. Now the next one will be whatever will be this one. This is the same one I used in my other one. This is the Lapis. It's a tint, a resin tint from Terraced. I'll just do 1 drop to begin with. It's quite strong, and I don't want them to be the same color. So I want the layers, the next layers that I do, to be transparent so that you can, you know, see all those gorgeous terraces. So with this one, what I'm going to try and do is, I know it's going to go over the top of that, but I just want to kind of drizzle, probably just do 2, I don't know, just wherever it goes, a couple of layers, a couple of terraces. And we'll just see what happens. Because where it's deeper, it's going to look darker anyway, even though it's not a darker shade. It's going to look a bit darker because it's deeper. I might go up 1 more in here. See if I can get into there. I'm on this. Have I gone up a layer? I don't know. I think maybe I've gone up a layer on those ones. So if you keep your colors transparent, you can still see down into that darker one there, because this one's transparent, so you obviously can see through it. Let me get a little bit more out. I'm just going to scrape this out. just going to pour it into the center. Look how thick and gluggy it's getting already. I only just got it in time, but I didn't want to waste it because, you know, I only needed this tiny little bit for these very thin layers, and I thought, oh, I want to try and get this video done before this resin goes off. I've got a tiny, actually look, I've got a tiny bit left. I'll put some clear in there just to bring it up a little bit higher. And I'm just going to very gently just push with my stick to get the colour to go to those edges there. And then once this is set up, I'll come back with another colour, like a teal, bit of a teal kind of a tone. No, I'm losing it. It's going sticky and globby. It did pretty well though. I managed to get that out, so that's good. I'm happy. Did you hear that cockatoo outside screeching? Wildlife in abundance at my place outside. It's not going to matter too much. Like, the next layer is going to cover this anyway, so we don't need to worry too much when I put my next layer on. But there it is. That's the first couple of layers anyway. Give it a torch. Does it look deep and mysterious yet? Hope so. All right, that's me done. That was good. I'm glad I managed to get that done. Let me clean up my mess. So once that's had a chance to set up, and you don't have to wait until it's rock hard. You can wait until it's, you know, still tacky, but if you poured another layer on, it stays on top. You just don't want it thin enough or so thin that the color mixes in. So just sort of thick enough that you can pour your next layer on. So depending on what resin you use, you may be able to just do it in a couple of hours. If you're using like a top coat resin, it sets up pretty quick, and you can probably do another layer or 2 layers in a couple of hours. Whereas if you're using a casting resin that, you know, sets up after 24 hours, this is going to take you a very long time. So you might want to change to a coating resin for a job like this where you're doing lots of little layers. Another little torch. All right. So that's it. I'll leave it there, and I'll come back to you. I have to wait till tomorrow now, till I get back from work. And I can do another couple of layers then. But it's looking good so far. All right, I'll see you soon. Hey guys, I'm back. I was just doing another video, and look, I've got this tiny little bit of clear resin left, and I thought, oh, I know what I can do with that. I can just do another layer on this, because it's not worth making up a whole batch. So next time I've got just a tiny little bit of resin left, that's what I'll do, just make it up. Is that a hair? Is that a hair? There's a hair. So I thought I'll go with the next sort of, I don't want a dark blue again, but I don't want a really light blue. I'm going to go with this one here, that one there. I think that will do, because that one's like what I've already got, and that's the lighter one. So let me just pop this, what I've got left, in here. I've just been making some coasters. I was trying like the 3D bloom effect, but in a puddle pour. So yeah, that video will be out by now because this will take me forever. So I was just trying something new. So the resin's been sitting in there for like an hour and a half. It's getting quite thick. I'm just going to use this Colour Passion one. And let's just do, what have I got there? Like 2 drops. I don't want to make it too dark because it's going to look kind of darkish on top of that other colour anyway. And then I want to go with, like, the next couple of layers, I'm going to go with like more of a teal kind of a colour. It's hard to see what that's going to look like. That should be fine, hey? All right. Let's pour that in. Warm it up a touch. Pop some bubbles. Like I said, it's getting quite thick. But just give it a splash of heat. Splash? Maybe not a splash. A little bit of heat. And hopefully we can get some of those bubbles out. All right, I'll just put in what I've got here. Look, see how it changes colour there on the side? It looks really pretty, doesn't it? Hopefully I've got enough to do that next layer. So this type of thing I think is really nice. Like, I'm only doing one, so it's nice just to do, if you've only got one, just to use up your leftover resin. So it's something to do with your leftover resin, isn't it? Because sometimes you go, oh, I don't want to waste it, but it's not enough to do like a big pour, big project. So this is, I like the fact that you can just do a little bit at a time, just with your leftovers. But of course, if you're doing a whole set, you'd make up enough resin to do them all. All right, let's pop that. And again, I don't have to worry about burning my mold because I'm not using one. All right. You can be a bit rough with it, hey? Hopefully those bubbles will come to the surface. Give it a bit of a whack. Now I will come back, we're getting a bit close there. I will come back in a little while and torch again. Then I have to decide what colour I want to go next. See, because the blue on this kind of sandy yellow colour makes it go a little bit teal looking, which is fine. I'm happy with that. I want different colours so you get that illusion of depth. And it is depth. It's just not, it's not very deep. So I'll have to think about what colour I want to go with next. That teal is this one here. It started off looking quite tealy, but then when it dried, I'll try another one. When it dried, it went a weird colour, but I'll try it again. Try it again. I might do that coming up. All right, that's me done for another little layer. And I'll torch it again in a few minutes. Just keep those bubbles at bay. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I've got a little bit of resin left over. Is it looking deep? Deep and mysterious yet? You could put a little fishy in there, couldn't you? All right, see you soon. Righto. It's a few days later and I've got a tiny little bit of resin left again. So, another layer. And I thought, so I've got some blues there. I'm really trying to go for a teal. The teals that I've been using haven't been teal, they've been blue. So I'm going to try this rainforest green. Even if I have to mix a couple of colours together, I won't use all my resin. Just in case I don't like the colour, then I can do another little batch quickly. So this is the rainforest green. So I'll probably only get this layer and then another layer, I think. Let's just do one drop and see what it's going to look like. See, I may put a little bit of a touch of green. Oh gosh, see how it goes blue? Oh, see, it's doing my head in. All the teal colours are going blue. And I've got blue. All right, so I'm going to add a drop of green. It's just, yeah, it's really bugging me. I've tried a few different teals. They say teal, but then when I mix them with resin, it's just not. It could just be because I'm only putting one drop in. But you'd think if it says teal, it would go teal. Let me just go and grab my green and see. I've got a lime green. Where's my other green? Oh gosh. I thought I had a dark green. Maybe not. Yeah, I can't find. I thought I had a. Oh, it's probably this one. I've got this lime green. See, I don't want to go too dark. And then I've got this emerald. Oh no, what's that, turquoise? Maybe I should just try the turquoise. This is the Terrace Resin alcohol ink. That looks green to me. I don't want to go too dark. I'm going to put a drop of this lime in and see what that does. See if I can get a teal from the lime green. Whoops. Oh gosh, now we've gone green. Oh my gosh. Who knew it was so hard to get a teal? Excuse me. Croaky voice in the morning. All right, let's put a little bit of that in there. And, okay, so those two didn't work. I'm going to put a little bit more resin in here. And let's go with a drop of sky blue. That's this one here in the middle. I don't know that I've used that one. Sky blue, that's from Terraced. One drop. It was a little sample, so it hasn't got its proper label on it, but we'll see how that goes, hey? I just want a greeny blue. You know, I've got too many blues already. I want to go a greeny blue. And let's see what it's doing. Yep, that looks pretty, doesn't it? Yep. Always check it because it always looks darker in your cup because it's deeper. And then when I put it on top of the blues, it's going to change colour. But this outside colour here is what I'm thinking about. Actually, I'm going to do a tiny bit more blue. Tiny bit, one more drop. Gotta be so careful, don't you? All right. I have got a little bit more resin in case I need to add, because I want a teal, you know, I don't want green. I may do the very last layer in a very pale blue. All right, let's see what that's looking like. Look, perfect. That's not quite so, you know, that's blue, that's more teal. So let's go with this one. Oh, that was an effort. And I might just put the rest of my resin in there. I don't think it's going to change the colour because I need to come up 2 layers. I just want to make sure I've got enough, that's all. All right, here we go. Resin's getting a bit thick now because it's been sitting, because I've been working on another project, so it's been sitting there for a little while. Hopefully it'll be all right. I'll give it a bit of heat with my heat gun, and that'll melt it, sort of make it run to the edges a little bit. I have still got a little bit of clear if I need it. Let me just get my heat gun out, and I'm just going to put it on low. I've just got a low and a high with this one. So I'm just going to heat it up so it can go into the little edges there. Just kind of melting it, thinning it out. so it can spread. Oh, look at that! Isn't that looking pretty? I thought I would get a bit higher than that. Obviously not. All right, let's use a little bit of what I've got left over, because I do want to do another layer, 2 layers. This is just some leftover that I was trying out. One of the other resins that went a little bit too blue again. Look how thick and glunky it's gone. Glunky. Is that a word? I think I was going gloopy and chunky and it came out glunky. I'll put a little bit of this lime in. Just basically adding whatever I've got left now, just to get a little bit more coverage. I didn't realise that I would only get such a little bit of coverage. You think you've got a lot, but you actually have to go over the whole surface area again, don't you? So I'll just use up what I've got. And I'll remember next time with the top layer, it's going to take much more, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at that and see how that's looking. Still got some lime, but I don't want to put any more green into it. All right, let's pour this into the middle. And then I'll heat it again. Hopefully that'll come up to the next little layer of the terrace. So my molds are in production now, which is very exciting. It's still a few weeks away though, because yeah, it just takes a long time. So it'll be still a few weeks before I can get them listed in my store. I make a lot of the molds myself, as you guys know, but the ones that are really, really intricate, I need to outsource. All right, how's that looking? All right, so the next layer will be this one up here, which is that one. Yep, that's looking good. Whoa, whoop, that was high. Let's go back onto low. All right, that's looking really pretty. Just getting some bubbles out, moving that resin around. I don't want it to overflow. Alrighty, there we go. What do you think? So we've got the blue, and then it gets into the green and then the light green. This last one, I think I'll go back to just a pale blue. Probably this one here, the sky blue. So that will be my top layer. And then, even though it's only this little bit here and this little bit around here, I still need to cover the whole surface. So that'll be the blue, and then I'll do you don't have to, but I think I'll see what it looks like. I'll do a clear top coat just to, otherwise you may see like a little ridge where those two meet up. So there we go. Sticky hands. All right, let me spray them with alcohol. Get that resin off. And I'll see you in another few days when I've got another little tiny bit of resin. I'm just going to get my gloves off. I'll take you down for a close-up so that you can have a look. Okay, what do you think? Does it look dark and mysterious looking? Poor camera doesn't know what to focus on. So that last one that I did, you can see that it's got, let's see if I can point here. You can see how it's got the darker teal and then the light teal. It's the same color, it's just deeper. You know, the terrace is deeper, so it looks slightly different. Oh, the camera doesn't know which layer to focus on. So there we go. One more layer of light blue, and we'll be done. All right, see you soon. All right, guys, one more layer. Hopefully you're not getting sick of this by now. Righto, I've got a little bit of resin left over again from a different project, and I'm going to go with this one here, this sky. That's it there. So I want it really, really pale, just for this last little layer here. That'll go across the top. And then I'll do a top coat in clear, and that'll be done. So here we go. Let's just put in, let's just do one. Look how differently they act to the alcohol inks. Alcohol inks kind of hit the resin and spread. This just sort of stays in its little blob. And then I try to touch the resin, clear resin, without touching the ink, just so that I don't get the ink all over my stick. Otherwise it grabs onto the stick and you kind of lose it all. So, I mean, that looks pretty blue, but let's just have a little look. Like I said, I want it very pale, but I do want to actually see that it's blue. Yep, that's not quite blue enough. Do one more drop. Hopefully you guys aren't getting sick of this. We're doing this. This has actually taken me a couple of weeks because I just think, oh, I need a tiny little bit of resin to finish it. But you'll be glad to know that my sample will be here. They'll be ready in about a week. So I'm so excited. My little sample of my new mold. Just wipe that off because I don't need that. Okay, here we go. Make sure there's no dust on it. Give it a bit of a blow. It's been sitting here. It's probably dusty. All right, now let's just do that. So I might not need all that, you see. Just push this into the little edges there. You can see that it's blue, so that's nice. It's totally up to you, you know, how blue you want to do it. Could have put in one more drop, but it's very shallow water up here. So it's not very, very dark, is it? I think it's nice to have that different, that contrast of the different colors. I've got a little bit of the greeny, tealy kind of a look. And then we've got that dark, dark navy blue right in the bottom there. Makes it look very deep, doesn't it? You could just dive straight in. All right, so that's done. I will just put a tiny bit more on just to bring it right up to the top. And then give it a torch, and then I just need to do a top coat in a few days when I get some more tiny bit of resin left. Well, you never know. I might just make up some more. I think that's empty. So how's it looking so far? Do you like it? Now let me know who would be interested in one of the coaster molds like this, the Terrace coaster molds. Because I'm pretty excited about them. A little bit more. All right, so that's it, you guys. I will come back when this is set, and I'm just going to do a clear coat just over the top. But you do need a resin that's going to dome. You don't want a resin that's going to like run down the sides. So, I mean, you could if you wanted to, put it up onto an upturned plastic cup and let the resin run down the sides if you wanted to. I think I'm just going to go to the edges though, so we'll see. All right, see you in a few days. Righto guys, last little layer. I know it's been a bit monotonous, but if I was doing a whole lot of them, you could just knock them out real quick. But because I'm just waiting just for a tiny bit of resin left over, it's taken me a bit longer. But that's fine. I'm enjoying the process. We can peel this sticky tape off the back now, can't we? If I can get it. because we don't need that anymore. Can't remember how many pieces I put on it actually. One more. Oh, it might be two more actually. I think there's another two there. And they're both coming off together. So there we go. Now these edges are quite sharp. I'll have to sand them a little bit. Actually, that's a bit sticky now. But it's never mind. Anyway, I'm just going to use this upturned little plastic container that I've got. That can sit there. Make sure it's nice and level. Yep, I think that's about it. Right, a little bit of resin left over. Now, all resins are not equal when it comes to doming. So the thicker resins tend to be better for doming, like an art resin, something that you do for a top coat. This is the platinum, it's the same resin, the platinum 360 plus. It's a nice thick consistency. So we'll just pour some of that on. And I'm going to use the palette knife because I can hold it like that and it's got a nice flat surface rather than trying to struggle with a stick and hold the stick right down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carefully just push the resin from the middle out to the edges, and I'm kind of just going like over the top like that, because I know that this resin will just sit there on the edge. It'll just cling to the edge beautifully. If you find that you've got a resin that's pulling back from the sides, the edges, then it's not the right resin. Like it goes to the side and then it sort of pulls back and you have these empty spaces, then it's not the right resin to use for doming. And you'll notice that once you start. And also you have to make sure that you've got a thick enough layer on here to actually get a good covering. Just wiping it. If I go a little bit too close to the edge, and I'm just wiping the edge. But look, you know, if you wanted yours to go over the sides, you could, by all means. You just have to make sure that the back's taped so that you're not getting resin on the back. But I don't need it to go down the sides, so just want the top done. And I'm just pulling my little palette knife over the sides like that to coat the actual like rounded top of the edge there. So I'll make sure that it's right up to the edge, and then I can actually go around like that and do that side of that top edge as well, if that makes sense. I may need to put a little bit more on. I just wasn't sure how much it could take, but let's put a little bit more on there. And resin being self-leveling, it's going to just find its own little level. Hopefully I haven't put too much on and it runs off, but it should be all right. Just, you know, start with a small amount. You can always add, but if you've got too much on there and it all runs down the side, it's just going to be a big sticky mess. So just go slow with it. And you'll see if you need a little bit more. It'll have like a little blank area on the side. I will take you down in a minute and show you a close-up. Just make sure that it's all good. I'm just going to pop that there. Stay. Right, let's give it a bit of a torch. Now again, be careful when you're torching, because the heat of the torch will make your resin really thin, and being thin it might want to roll off a lot easier, so don't warm it up too much. You just have to keep checking, sorry about the glare, you just have to keep checking to see if it's pulling away. If it's pulling away a little bit, see it is here as well, just means it needs a little bit more. You need to get a nice thick layer on top, but it's just going to cling to the edge. So you just have to, it's trial and error, just add a little bit more at a time until it's just sitting on the top there, but not running over the edge. Just like that. And hopefully my table is level. I'll come over here and look at it this way with the light behind us. Well, in front of us, I should say. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's go back and have a little look at the side here. See what it's doing. Oh gosh. All right, that's looking good. It's looking good, looking good, looking good. It's not pulling away anymore. Why can't I focus? Oh gosh. Anyway, all right, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm probably doing your head in with trying to focus it. But it's, hopefully you can see it's not pulling away anymore. I will keep an eye on it. I'll come back and check it again. But I think I've got it to the level where it's good. It just needed that little bit extra resin on top. Yep, looking good all the way around there. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So I'm going to give it another torch. Look at that. You can just dive straight in. Oh, there's some bubbles there. Give it another little torch. Pop some bubbles. And that's pretty much it for me. I will, when it's dry tomorrow, I'll take a photo of it so that you can see what it looks like tomorrow when it's all dry. So that's it. All right, well, thanks for being with me for my little experiment. Hey, don't forget, I will have my sample molds here in about a week, so wait for them. They will be available real soon, okay, in my store. Just be patient, and I'll get them to you as soon as I can. So thanks again for watching, and really appreciate it, and I'll see you all real soon for the next video. Okay, bye for now.